Since August 2018, ISF has reached China, and it has spread throughout China at a tremendous speed. This is potentially a big game changer globally for the whole pork industry, because it appears to be completely out of control. It's even a danger for the neighboring countries. And since 2 weeks, we know that Vietnam has also cases of ASF. That means that the whole of Africa, Europe, Siberia, Russia, China, and then if it's spreading through in Asia, except North and South America, everybody will have the disease of African swine fever. So you can understand quite easily that the cards will be thrown again. It's very difficult to make a good prognosis, but it appears that China will have, temporarily at least, a shortage of pork. But when, that's the question. The soonest we expect will be in the second half of 2019. For how long, also difficult to predict, because the Chinese production industry will restructure. It will be the pack farmers will disappear in many numbers. So it will change everything, assuming that in Europe no major producing country is infected with African swine fever. And that's a threat for everybody in Europe. If a major producer, Germany, Spain or Denmark, has one case of African swine fever, then the most important Asian markets will close immediately. And then what will happen to that surplus of pork? That's the big question.
So everybody's praying for Germany to be saved from ASF now? Do I understand it correct?
When I speak of the major producing countries, it's Germany, it's Spain, it's Denmark. They are the biggest. For the time being, they are not infected. But if you look at the map, it's a question of time. The risk is so high to be infected. So the question is, will they be infected? But the question is when. Because they have an enormous wild boar population. And you cannot control those animals and their movements. That's the problem.
Maybe could you prevent it by not exporting alive animals?
You have to make a clear distinction between wild boars and domestic pigs. For instance, in Belgium, only wild boars are affected. We are free of African swine fever regarding the domestic pigs.
Okay.
So that means that we can sell our meat throughout Europe and some other countries, third countries. But the problem is the disease within the population of wild boars. And they move. Yeah. But if you, it's of the, if I showed that there was a lot of transport of domestic pigs, the lorries with people coming to Baltic states, Poland and so on, Germany, and then they drive, if there is contact is with blood, a lorry or a boot can be contaminated and then transmitted to pigs, you see? That's what has happened in Poland, because you have cases in wild boars and domestic pigs. See? It's difficult to understand that.
Yeah, it is. So no chance for a medicine right now, as I understand from your presentation.
There are so far no vaccines has been developed. It's very difficult technically. You have a lot of genotypes of the virus, but so far no vaccine has been. But I guess it is being researched for the time being.
If the black scenario is
If the
black scenario, if the worst comes,
yes, yeah, scenario, yes.
who will win? America? If they are free from the ASF?
What is a worst case? What is the worst case? If today for Polish farmers, for Belgian farmers, two countries having the disease, prices are low. If Germany or Spain or Denmark has the disease too, and the Asian markets are closed for them, there will be a huge surplus of pork in Europe. So the prices will collapse in the first time.
So
Then you need farmers to produce pork. If a lot of farmers quit,
there will be no producers. No.
it's too speculative to say. It could happen. There can be another disease in the US. We don't know. Huh? So we have to be cautious. But the near future doesn't look too bright. We'll have to be patient, and it's very difficult to eradicate the disease within the wild boars population. It's very difficult. Because you have, the only way we can do it is eradicate the whole population. But try to eradicate in a certain region all wild boars is nearly impossible.
So does the things like ASF, then they fasten the works on false meat, on this artificial meat? It's so...
Not at all. Not at all, because in the first stage you have too much pork. Second stage will be farmers quit the profession. Then you will have not enough pork to match the demand of the population, you see? But that's, no, I don't think those two issues are not linked.
Yeah, okay.